everyone. Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And it's part C, day 3, the final day of our look at what to eat during Chinese New Year. I don't know about you, Rainbow, but I'm kind of full with food knowledge and looking at all this delicious food. So what about we talk about one of the other things people like on this Chinese New Year's Eve when everyone gets together to eat the food? I don't know about your family, but after we finish the food with my wife's family, we start giving red envelopes to each other. Do you guys do you also do that?
So my family's from Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, the tradition is you always give 2 red envelopes. And everybody actually gives them out to everyone.
Okay.
Even on the street. So you give them to your guard, you give them to kids on the street, and it's just a little bit of money. And 2 is double, so double for luck. And I've noticed that in Taiwan, people tend to give 1 red envelope, and maybe there'll be more money in it, but you only give it to those people that are in your family. So the tradition is different, and I like the one in Hong Kong because you just carry around loads of red envelopes and you give 2 of them to everybody, and everyone passes them to everyone, and there's a lot of different envelopes, and you feel very abundant, and that is all about Chinese New Year money.
Okay, that's a nice idea. I mean, we give a few to the people who work in our building, and of course, I give some to my wife's parents, and we all exchange. And then the other fun thing that I don't know if this is all the families in Taiwan, but what we often do is everyone takes $1,000, from their new red envelope, and then they go down and they buy a bunch of lottery tickets.
Oh.
And then her family likes to sit around the dining room table scratching these cards for half an hour.
Do they get money?
Well, sometimes we win back the money we spend, so we win back at 0. But a few years you win a bit more, a few years you win a bit less. But that's a slight, different version of giving lucky money. We're trying to give lucky lottery cards. So what about you guys? Do you have some interesting family traditions that you also match with the cultural traditions? You can chat about that, and also check out the dialogue, because I think we're heading into dessert on the big Chinese New Year table. Maggie and Jerome finish their talk.
Those colorful balls look like candy, but I've never heard of a candy soup.
Those balls aren't candy, but they are sweet. They're called tangyuan.
So we're continuing part C of our what to eat during Chinese New Year dialogue. So what's going on now?
Maggie and Jerome finished their talk. Finally, they're at the end of the conversation where they're going to be talking about the desserts. And of course, Jerome has more questions.
That's right. They've been talking about this food for 3 days.
Seriously.
There's a lot of food on this table.
Food.
They have to reach the end sometime. And yes, you're right. It looks like they're near the end of the table, and certainly near the end of the menu, the food you will be eating and the way you will be eating it. Jerome notices, something that's probably quite unusual, and because it's so bright and colorful, it really catches his eye. He says, those colorful balls look like candy, but I never heard of a candy soup.
They do look like candy.
Although a candy soup does sound delicious.
It does.
Yeah.
Candy is something sweet that you love to eat as a kid. So kids love candy. In America, during Christmas, there's these mint candy, spearmint, so it's like red and white sweets. In Taiwan, the most popular one as a kid is milk candies, which are little brown ones. In Hong Kong, we have white rabbit candies, which are little white ones. So every country has its own special candies, and it's given out to kids. They taste really good. If you eat too much of it, you're gonna get cavities, so you don't want to eat too much candy. But kids love candy, and it's something to give out during holidays and seasons. But this bowl of soup is not candy, actually. It's just actually another type of soup.
Yeah, that's a very strange thing to think of people putting candies in a soup.
Drinking the sugar?
And drinking all that sugar. Ugh. Because soup is a kind of food, but it's mostly liquid. It's quite wet. You eat it out of a bowl, usually with the spoons. There could be little bits of food in there, little bits of vegetables or chicken or meat or fish or something, but generally it's a thing that we eat in a liquid form from a bowl using a spoon. You can't cut your soup. You don't usually try to pick it up with chopsticks. You could drink it, but here's an important point. Often in Taiwan, in Chinese, I know people say drink soup, whereas in the West, the verb would be to eat soup. Yeah, even though it's liquid, even if you do kind of finish it by drinking it, the verb we would use is, I ate a bowl of soup for lunch today. You wouldn't drink a bowl of soup.
Also, those soups are thick. Like tomato soups or pumpkin soups are thick.
Right, many Western soups. Yeah.
Often clear soups.
It's a lot lighter. It's more like water or something like that.
Exactly.
But Western soups, you do often eat it with a spoon, so you eat soup, you don't drink it. But yeah, either way, it's going to be hot, it's going to have flavor, it's going to be cooked over a long time on your stove, and then when it's finally done, it is delicious, and it warms you up, especially in the winter. A good bowl of soup.
Maggie says
But not
those
candy.
balls aren't candy, but they are sweet. They're called 汤圆. So 汤圆is kind of like sweet soup. It's just like sticky little balls.
Yeah.
Like Hong Kong has dessert soups. It's kind of
Right,
like that.
okay.
And something sweet is just like candy. It has a lot of sugar. So of course there are many different types of sugar. There can be natural sugars, it can be unnatural sugars. But this thing tastes like it's not spicy, it's not sour, it's not bitter, it's not salty, it's sweet. So when we think of sweet, we think of sugar, we think of candies, and we think of something that makes us very happy. So in Chinese, when we eat something sweet, it's kind of like having a sweet relationship. It's like unity. It's like people are sweet with each other. Okay, so let's take a break very quickly and we'll talk about the meaning of 汤圆.
Do they stand for money too?
No, they're for being together. 汤圆 sounds similar to the Chinese word for reunion.
Hey, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is. We also have lots of other sweets. They're in the tray of togetherness over there.
Is that a box of candy?
Yes, but it can have melon seeds and dry fruits too.
All right, we are still with our Chinese New Year dinner. Jerome is trying to figure out what all the food means. He's taken a guess before, right? He guessed that the radish cake was tofu. He was kind of wrong about that. And here he was guessing that the tang yuan was a candy soup. Not quite, although it is sweet. And now he's kind of guessing at the meaning of the tang yuan soup, right? Is it long life? Is it about money and wealth? And that's kind of where his mind goes. So he asks Maggie, do they, the little tang yuan, the little colorful balls, do they stand for money too? Okay, because money, you know, it's colorful. It comes in different shapes and sizes and colors. So maybe he's thinking they're like coins in your pocket or in your hand or something.
That's too little. We need blocks of gold.
I know, but maybe it's old money or something.
Maggie says no, they're for being together.
Oh.
汤圆 sounds similar to the Chinese word for reunion, which is 团圆.
Okay, so it's kind of like the unity meaning we saw
right.
earlier for, I think, the chicken, right? That was about unity. The chicken stood for unity, something that is a symbol, stands for something. It basically has a meaning. When we use this expression to stand for, we're talking about what the symbol means. Often we use things to take the place of something else. A flag will stand for a country. When you're watching a sports event, you see a little flag and you know that it means that person is from Japan or from Germany or Australia, because the flag stands for a certain country. And in the same way, people could do it too. When the president of Taiwan travels to another country, he or she is standing for all the people of Taiwan, right? They're the symbol of us, they represent us. If you see one, you think of the other because they have a lot of the same meaning together.
That's right. And the next word we have here is similar, and that is the same meaning as the word alike that we had before. It means some two things are very closely looking like, sounding like, acting like each other, or they are very close in some ways. They look the same, they're similar. So you can say, hey, the two brothers are very similar. Maybe they have the same nose, the same face, the same eyes, and some people might even think they're twins because they're so similar. Or you can say, hey, you sound very similar to your mom. When I call, I'm not sure who's picking up the phone because they're so much alike. So similar and alike, these mean the same things.
That's right, but they don't mean the same, right? That would be identical.
Yeah,
if
just
it's similar,
very close.
There are some differences there, though, but you're right, 80–90% the same.
Yeah.
But there are some differences there. And we also had the word reunion. A reunion is when people get back together. These people were together before, maybe as a family, a class, a group of friends, and then over time, probably over years and years, their lives took them in different directions to different places. They move away from home to study, to work, and then a few years later they organize a party or some kind of get-together or gathering where everyone comes back to one place to have those old friendships restart, to talk about their old times and the old memories. We do reunions with old classmates,
10-year
right?
reunions.
Junior high, senior high, college. You might have a reunion with people you used to play sports with in school. And of course, Thanksgiving for Western people in America, Chinese New Year, also tomb sweeping, right? When you have tomb sweeping here in the spring, people will often get together after spending a lot of time apart. They'll get together. That will be a reunion. So having a reunion is a wonderful thing about these holidays. And as Jerome says, hey, that's pretty sweet. Oh, I see what he did there. He made a little
play
joke.
on words.
Another play on words. He said the tangyuan soup and also the idea of a family reunion. Both of these things are pretty sweet.
So we have the adverb pretty here. This is different from saying somebody is pretty. If you say somebody is pretty, that means you think they're beautiful, they look nice. If you say pretty and then you have an adjective afterwards, for example, pretty sweet, that means very sweet, quite sweet. Now you can also say she is pretty, which means she's quite pretty, very pretty. So when we say something is pretty something, that means it's a little bit more than just a little. It's kind of like a lot. So if I say, oh, that's pretty spicy, it's like maybe 60–70% spicy. Okay, so Maggie continues to answer Jerome, yes, it is pretty sweet. Yes, it is. We also have lots of other sweets. They're in the tray of togetherness over there. So the tray of togetherness, there are lots of different kinds of candies, and it's a special tray with special Chinese New Year candies.
That's right. And notice here she's using the word sweet in a couple of different ways. Sweet because it has sugar, but also sweet because it's very kind, it's very lovely, it's a very beautiful kind of feeling, right? If someone is a sweet person, they're very kind, they're very caring, they're very loving of the people around them. So it's sweet for people to get a reunion, and also they will be eating sweet food, like in this tray of togetherness. There you go. Is that a box of candy? He says, pointing at the tray of togetherness, because it's this big tray, and there's little sections with different colored and different shaped little things. Like when you open a box of candy, you might have different shapes and different sizes and colors of chocolates. But this isn't just chocolate and candy. There are other things there.
Maggie says, yes, but it can have melon seeds and dried fruits too. We often eat this after the meal when we're just watching TV, and then we're just going to be like, yeah, that's exactly right.
That's right. You might have peanuts on there, watermelon seeds, that kind of thing, plus some sweet candies all wrapped up in their nice paper. There you go, guys. Sounds like a great time that Jerome's had with Maggie and her family at this wonderful
learned a lot.
Chinese New Year dinner. And now it's time to eat, so they're going to get to it.
Oh, finally.
We're going to wish you a very happy Chinese New Year. Take care of yourselves. All the best in the future. Gongxi, gongxi, and all that stuff. And we'll see you back here
新年
soon.
快乐，拜拜。
Maggie and Jerome finish their talk.
Those colorful balls look like candy, but I've never heard of a candy soup.
Those balls aren't candy, but they are sweet. They're called 汤圆.
Do they stand for money too?
No, they're for being together. 汤圆 sounds similar to the Chinese word for reunion.
Hey, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is. We also have lots of other sweets. They're in the tray of togetherness over there.
Is that a box of candy?
Yes, but it can have melon seeds and dry fruits too.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 candy 名词，糖果。I got a box of candy from my dad yesterday. 昨天我爸爸给我一盒糖果。下一个单字 soup 名词，汤。Mom is making chicken soup for us. 妈妈正在为我们煮鸡汤。下一个单字 sweet 形容词，味道是甜的。I don't like the dessert because it's too sweet. 我不喜欢这个甜点，因为它太甜了。下一个单字 pretty 是一个副词，相当、颇为怎么样。The house is pretty big. 这栋房子相当大。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 somebody hears of something. 某人听说过某件事。我们来看看这个例句。I heard of that movie before. A lot of people love it. 我之前听说过那部电影，很多人很爱耶。下一个文法 A sounds similar to B。A 听起来和 B 很像。Similar 的意思是相似的、类似的。我们来看看这个例句。Your new idea sounds similar to Ryan's. 你的新点子听起来和 Ryan 的很类似哦。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Hello, I'm Matt.
I'm ChiWen.
Today we're playing Guess the Bear. We each have 3 cards with 2 example sentences on each of them, and in these sentences, the vocabulary words or phrases are replaced with the word bear. We'll each have 1 minute to see if we can guess all 3 words or phrases. So, are you ready to try?
Let's do it.
You're up first. All right, 1 minute. Let's begin. First one is a noun. Don't eat too much bear or your teeth will rot. Kids love to get bear during Halloween.
Is it snacks?
Not quite snacks.
Candy?
Candy, right. Okay, next one's an adjective. I don't like this tea. It's too bare. Add sugar if it's not bare enough.
Is it sweet?
These are too easy for you. Not fair. Okay, next one's a 2-word phrase. Do you know this actor? I've never bared bear him. Have you bared bear the running of the Bulls Festival?
The Bulls Festival. Can you repeat the last sentence?
Have you bared bear the running of the Bulls Festival?
Heard of?
Yes, that's right.
Nice.
So that one, I think you got 3 easy ones. So that's, yeah, do you know this actor? I've never heard of him. And have you heard of the running of the Bulls Festival?
I haven't heard of the running of the Bulls Festival.
I've been there. Okay.
Okay.
My turn.
All right, your turn. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Start the clock. First one is an adverb. At 6 p.m., the day is bare much over. Number 2, sorry I'm late. Traffic was bare bad.
Okay. Well, I think it's pretty.
Yes.
But not pretty like face, but
Yeah.
pretty much. Okay, next one.
All right, number 2 is a noun, 1 word. I usually drink tomato bear when I'm sick, and my brother always orders hot and sour bear.
Oh. Okay, I was thinking it was juice. I was like, that's weird. It must be soup.
Soup is correct.
Okay.
I've never had hot and sour juice. Next is a phrase, 3 words. Your schedule, bear, 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 mine. So let's study together. The town name, bear, 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 a phrase in another language.
Is the same?
Oh, you're so close.
Is
Okay, the answer is sounds similar to.
Oh, schedule, okay.
Your schedule sounds similar to mine, so let's study together. The town name sounds similar to a phrase in another language.
I wouldn't say a schedule sounds similar.
That's true.
Just me, maybe. Anyway.
Yeah, but you know.
Yours is too.